So today, this morning, I traded OKTA. It was kind of a wild stock. If you look at that range, it trades 554 on average. Obviously, it had a huge drop from like around the 90 area all the way back down to under 70 now. So I was expecting a crazy range today, possibly, I mean, it's $2 above. So relatively speaking, it's not even like, it's nothing crazy, especially given the volume, how the volume is what, 9 times more than average. It's still within the vicinity of its average range. If it's trading 9 times the volume and it's not even double the average range, I mean, that just always interests me. But so the context of things, just definitely expecting bigger moves in this stock. But if we look in the pre-market, it was pretty it wasn't too wild. It was, you could call it smooth. I mean, it's kind of like choppy, but it's got a clear direction. Like if you look at the bars individually, I mean, like it's a 60-cent bar. It's kind of like smooth but consolidated. This is just like what I had to work with this morning. And coming into the open, first thing I'm thinking is 70 psych levels, 75 psych levels, 7250, then 6750 with, potential for more, just depending on the prints that we've seen. So all the way back, the print personality, of course, it's going to be really thin. I mean, you could look at it now, it's only trading in like the 100, 500 is the biggest we've seen. Well, I mean, the biggest order out there right now. So yeah, it's light orders, so obviously the print personality is going to match, but it's a light print personality. But if you look at it, there are bursts that come in. So what do these bursts mean? These actually hold more weight than you would otherwise think if you saw like a burst of 4. So pretty significant. Let's see. So I was looking at this like from the jump, so I saw all of this. But 6802, I mean, you would think that this would go up, but with how big this burst is, you also have to think building trades. So we really need something definitive, and then we finally get that. I mean, that's a nice burst too, all the way at 65. So right over here, this definitely stands out. So building the context in my head at first, and then building a game plan off of these prints. So these prints are clearly above print personality, and it's at a psych level 65. So of course you would think that, okay, so it's going down and we get these ask prints, so I'm automatically thinking covering, and that puts me in the frame of mind of a move up could potentially happen, not because of somebody buying it, but because the move down could be over, right? So that's one thought in my head, but at the same time, I'm also understanding that this is a psych level, this is a big position, so I would still be looking for a move underneath 65, because if they're getting out at 65, this is just part of their position. I mean, it went from 90 and now it's, this is at 65 now, so still looking for it to go under, despite the realization that this could be just covering. It doesn't necessarily have to be buying. But then I saw these prints and I'm thinking, okay, this looks like buying. But the size of them also tells me build. So I'm still thinking a short, because if you look at the bars, the biggest bars are going to be down coming up into this point. So going long would just be kind of against what the personality of the stock is and what it's done, right? I mean, it's not going to be... I'm going to need more to be convinced to go long, like maybe a psych level, maybe more some really adamant positions coming in on the time and sales. So I was cautious of a long, but I'm prioritizing a short right now. and it would probably be a conservative trade, but at the same time in this stock, which has $2 increments, it's traded 70.73 already. You know, by this time it was probably like what, around 5, because if it opened at 69 and then it's 65, so yeah, it's about $4. So even though I'm looking to play conservatively, that's still like a $2 would be like the average type of move, so I'd still be risking a lot, but I wouldn't be like looking for anything beyond, at least I wasn't looking for anything beyond $2 at the moment. So yeah, and then this burst came in multiple times just because the orders were so light. So even though it's all at the same price, the orders are so light, it's hard to just execute this whole position all at once. So after that, we got a bid print burst at 64.93 to 85. You know, and this is just it's not too much long after, like 30 seconds. So this stood out to me because these say building to me. Building to me, even though I discussed that this was probably covering, I still think that it's going to go under because of the size of these prints, and likewise for these prints as well. So when I saw these, it was just extra confirmation. You know, this is a market maker coming in aggressively because he just like kind of just executed everything he could, got filled in at different prices, but that's just what this person wanted to do for their executions. So understanding that, I was definitely looking for the short, and I actually did take a short right when I saw these ask prints come in at 65.16. So originally they were 3, a little burst of 3, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it that. But then we started to see refreshing on the ask at 65.16, and then that's when we got this extra burst of ask prints coming in. So I'm just thinking at the moment, the size of this is going to be big. So I just took it the short, like not really even having a really solid game plan. I just like was expecting price action to come in, and then I was just gonna ride the trade. So I did get out maybe like a couple cents below after it like played around a little bit. Like it went up, it went down, and then that's when I was just like, when it came back to like around my entry, I just decided to get out because I realized that wasn't really like a calculated trade, so I just got out. Oh, and we also have 65 level, so close. So obviously I was expecting games there, so I just didn't want to be around there for an entry on a stock that, you know, could easily move $2 in a minute. So not a good risk to reward setup at this price, but I was still looking for a short trade. So as time went on, like as you can see over here, like it started to respect 66 as a level, and we already know that it's got resistance below 66, so above 66 is where I was looking to take this short. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, so yeah, I was expecting it to have a difficult time holding over 66, so I was looking for a trade around 66, ideally above. My order was set at 65.78, and I got filled at 66.02 for 100 shares. And then the price action bar, it was actually this one. So it was kind of just the first price action bar that I saw, and it was just average. It wasn't even like nothing outstanding. It wasn't like this, right? This was a nice bar for sure, but I have to say, like, my entry better just because it followed my plan. You know, I got in according to my plan, which sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's better to wait for that, but I just realized, you know, if it goes any more above 66, like basically if it broke this high, so if it came back up to 66.47 or above 66.49, you know, if it really just jumped up from 50, I was just looking for an exit. Above 66, so to me the risk to reward just made sense, so that's why I got in there, because I was using the matrix and tape speed for the entry. So on the matrix I saw an order on the bid side, you know, repelling the price up and keeping it from going down. So once that was eliminated, I got in, and then I was being defensive. I was looking for that order to pop back up, because sometimes it'll get eliminated and then it'll pop back up, you know, so that says that it wasn't the right time. But that did not happen, and when I was up about like 40 cents, it wasn't even like that much, but I took off 40% of my position just because that's just what I felt comfortable with at the time. Like if I managed, I'd rather lock in 40% instead of at 40 cents, even though I was expecting a much bigger move than that. That's just what I felt comfortable with managing and being exposed for. So I wanted to leave in 60%. That's just how much I felt like comfortable with holding on to at this point, and I wanted to secure I wanted to lock in profits. So yeah, I forgot to mention price action pushed down away from my entry, so yeah, so I got in here, and then price action just continued to push it, so that was a good sign. As it came back up to 66, I think that's when I started to like manage, you know, and just wanted to lock in some, despite realizing that my percentages were in my favor towards the short side. And then of course, as you can see, we got this volume bar, this volume spike, and we got that nice push down. So let's see. Oh yeah, then I kind of just closed the rest of my position at 64.13. It was a bit of an emotional decision because I kind of just wanted to cut it immediately. I really, like, literally the second after I got out, I was like, wow, I should have just left 20% in. I mean, why not, right? I had so much room to play with all the way up top from 66. Like, even if I held on to 20%, like, around this area, I could get out another 10%, lock it in, and then just leave a runner and like look where my runner would be. Wouldn't that be amazing, right? So I haven't been paying attention to anything else after my trade. Like literally, I wanted to record, but my mic, this is a new mic, but I was just having so much trouble with this headset. So that was annoying, but I found this really cool playlist, so yeah. Anyways, that's my trade for OKTA today. And it was a difficult trade. Like, you really had to, I can't explain it perfectly, but it was a difficult one considering this range, the potential possibilities of what could happen. I mean, this could have had a dead cat bounce and went up. I mean, way early in the beginning we saw these aspirants coming in, right? So I think just really understanding the substance that I saw coming in helped me decide what had a higher percent trade. Was it a long or a short? Was it even worth looking at, you know? So understanding the substance coming in helped me develop my game plan and set the parameters. I'm still working on setting my parameters, which basically just means, I mean, to me it means getting my stop loss, my price target, and my entry order price, limit price setup. Definitely need some more work on that, but you know, for just like thinking on the spot, I think that's a good trade. So yes, that is it. done.